Recording in progress.
All right, here we go. So let's go to get this show on the road. So thank you everybody for being here on time. We are going to continue to jump into the just listed mastery and continue to move in that direction. So I'm going to go ahead and go over a couple of quick notes from yesterday. If you have any questions, feel free to just go ahead and jump right on in. I know yesterday I was on my soapbox for a little bit, but I wanted to make sure that there was somewhat of a tone sent in regards to this particular topic. And why is this topic so important? It's important for me, at least simply because it's one of my favorite sources. It's the source that helped me build the business that I was able to build and create some sustainability off of it. So I love to share this particular source and give that value back to everyone. So, any questions, any comments, any concerns, anything of anything that I can address right out the gate? No. All right. Let's go ahead and move forward. Yeah, I'm sure at this point in time, with all my technical difficulties, you guys are done with that. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue moving forward, even though I am dealing with technical difficulties. So, yesterday we talked a little bit about the strengthening the link between prospecting and achieving the goals that we've set. Okay, so we want to make sure that we understand there should always be something in our background, something that's going to put us in a position where we are excited about this. We are this is why I'm doing this. Okay, and sometimes it could be as simple as a picture of our loved ones. Could be our kids, could be, really it could be the next car, it could be the next house, could be the next whatever that is. Okay, but the point of that is that I do want you to be in a position where you have identified what are some of those things that is going to be that next level for you. Car, house, boats, taking this trip, taking that trip, whatever that may be. Now, we must also make a commitment to build our business through consistent, daily, efficient prospecting. Okay, daily, efficient prospecting. Now, the key to that is basically being consistent, because unfortunately, most realtors are not. They're just not consistent. They don't do things on a consistent manner. It's this, haphazard. It's this ever so often. It's this I'll do it when I do have time. Okay? And especially when it comes down to prospecting. Some of you have not prospected in a day, a week, a month, and well, wait a minute, it's June 4th and I haven't prospected all year. So that definitely is not where we want to be at. Okay, that's for sure. The other thing is creating an efficient pre-prospecting routine. Now, this pre-prospecting routine that I'm referring to is going to be as simple as waking up at a specific time. So find that time that you're going to wake up every single morning. You're going to make that commitment. You're going to put yourself in a position where, okay, I'm going to be a part of the 5 a.m. club, not the 6 a.m., not the 6:30, not the 7:45 club, but the 5 a.m. club. And what do you got to do to get there? Well, there's certain things that you do. And that one thing is waking up at a certain time. After that, doing some form of stretching and or exercising. What are you doing to stretch and or exercise? Get the blood flowing. It's really important that we do that. Having a healthy breakfast. Okay, have a healthy breakfast, something that's going to be, provide nutrients for your body. And I know it sounds silly and it sounds basic, but you definitely want to make sure that you're in a position where you're not starting off just with some version of sugars. Okay, you start off with sugars, is basically you're going to crash by the time it's 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock. So we definitely do not want to do that. Okay. Do some affirmations. Work on our mindset. Our mindset is a muscle. We want to be in a position where we're constantly looking at the strengthening of this muscle. This muscle that we is the most important thing. It works one of two purposes. Number one is that of survival mode. Watch out for that bus. You're going to get hit. Okay. But the second thing is problem solving. And in that problem solving, with what our mind does, is that it helps us bring all of these things come to fruition. And what do I mean by coming to fruition? Well, you're sitting there, okay, my goal this year is to close 20 deals. My goal is to make X amount of money. My goal is whatever it is, fill in the blank. And our mind is a problem solver. How do I make this happen more often? How does this come together? So we want to continuously work on not only our mindset, but in regards to the affirmations and how we're continuing to bring that positivity to us. How about the time we start? Hey, just look at last week. What did last week look like? Were you on time? Were you doing everything that you were supposed to? Were you at your desk at 8 o'clock as you promised yourself? Or is it one day 8:15, the next day it's 9:30, the next day it's 8 o'clock? Okay, finally I'm gonna get to my desk as I've been promising myself to be at the desk at 8 o'clock. Looking at those things. Clear your desk. Make sure that there's no clutter. Is it look at your desk? Is there stuff on your desk that right now that yeah, there's just a bunch of stuff on my desk right now that I need to get rid of. Okay. Role play. When was the last time you role played? Do you have a role play partner? Are you role playing? Are you working on your skills? Or are you just shooting from the hip? There is a script that you need to be working on. And I don't care. I don't care if you're buying Zillow business. There has to be a version of a script. Are you practicing that? If you're doing open houses, are you practicing that version of that script? What are you working on, if anything? And when you role play with enthusiasm. And last but not least, have fun when you're prospecting. The key word is, of course, prospecting. And because you can have fun, but you have to be prospecting every single day. So now that we've been able to gather a handful of you, is there any questions that I can address? And again, the questions I'm looking for is yesterday when I was prospecting, I spoke to this person and they told me this. How do I handle that? I have this mindset issue. I have this challenge. How do I handle this? How do I start to think bigger? Okay, these are the type of questions that I want you to kind of bring to the table. So, is there any questions that I can address right out the gate? First off, all right, here we go. Let's talk about the memorization and internalization. There's two different things. Okay, I want you to think of memorization, and I'm referring to scripts and skills, which is of course the purpose of this class. I want you to think of memorization as to the kindergarten play you just came from watching your son, daughter, niece, nephew, and or grandchild. Okay. And they're sitting there and the teacher's doing the, okay, everybody do this. Right. And the kids are like, okay, yeah, that's right. Right. So they're trying to memorize it. Okay. Internalization, the highest paid actor, I don't even know who it is now, but I would venture to say it's probably still Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, that dude can do everything. Okay. He can do action, he can do romance, he can do, sci fi, he can do everything. Now, in that, because he does have his scripts so well internalized, he can play different characters. And that's the reason why this dude gets paid 50, 75 million dollars every single film because he knows how to internalize that. And that's the difference between the kindergartner who's sitting there trying to memorize what they're trying to say, which is what you're doing, trying to shoot from the hip, versus the internalized version. Give you an example. Memorized is going to be along the line of like this. And this is why people don't like scripts. And I get it. It's okay. You don't want to get on the other side of that. That's cool. The more of you that think in this process, the better it is for us that are actually doing this. So here's the memorized version. Ring, ring. Hello, Bob. Hi, Bob. My name is Robert. I'm a local realtor. I'm calling because I just listed your neighbor's property right around the corner from you. It's a 4 bedroom, 2 bath home over on Banana Street. Yeah, it's a great property. We have it listed for 400,000 and I was wondering who do you know that wants to move into our area? Was that good? It was okay. Are we going to get some results from that? Sure, if you put enough effort. Instead, I want you to have it internalized. And I want you to be in a position where you know when you're speaking to somebody who's a driver, who's an expressive, who's an analytical, and or who is an amiable, and speak in different forms. And the way that that's going to come across from an internalized version. Hello, John. John, hey, good morning. This is Robert. I'm a local realtor. Yeah, the reason I'm calling is I just listed your neighbor's property. Yep, right around the corner from you. A beautiful place over on Banana Street. It's a 4 bedroom, 2 bath home. Yeah, we listed at a great price of 750,000. And John, my question to you is, who do you know that wants to move here into our neighborhood? Oh, you can't think of anybody? Hey, I really appreciate you even taking the time to think about that. Tell me, John, how about yourself? When are you thinking about making that move? That's the difference. And the difference in the first version, that's going to get me 6, 7, 10, 15 deals a year. Okay. Maybe one or two from prospecting, maybe one or two from open houses, 4, 5, or 6 from calling my database. I might get one or two from my online. And every year, yay, I got my award. Okay. I'm the number 38th agent in the office. Okay. I was the top 5 realtor. Yay.
Recording stopped.
And that's cool if it's okay. You can stop the recording. the the and you kind of fool yourself in every direction. And every year, I want to do 2 deals a month. I want to do 25 deals a year. I want to do 30 deals. Okay. And you do that every year after year after year after year after year after year. And you do 8, you do 10, you do 12, you do 9, you do 7, you do 13. And it's this constant. But you always have these lofty goals of on your vision board that you want a Bentley. Okay. You want to live in the mega mansion. Okay. You want to go to the Ritz Carlton in Bali that's going to cost you $5,000 a night, but you're not doing the things that it takes to get there. Are we on the same page? So in that, what I want you to do is you need to be in a position where you're constantly working on this. And what's going to make you the difference, which goes back to the internalized version. And that's where you add zeros on all those other ones that I just mentioned. Instead of getting 1 or 2 from prospecting, you're going to get 10 to 20 from prospecting. Instead of getting 5 or 6 from your database, you're going to get 50 or 60 from your database. That's literally the shift. Okay. So I want to make sure we also understand this. Number 1 is effort. Number 2 is the skill set that's behind it. Okay. And I'm going to open up the script here in just a little bit. I want to work on the opening, which is always going to be the most challenging for most people. But let me give another point here before I continue to move forward. Okay. Well, actually, let me add to that point better yet. And in the memorization and the internalization, how do we get from memorized to internalized? Anybody? Let me get a little participation here. How do we get from memorized to internalization?
Writing the scripts.
Absolutely, writing.
Chanting the scripts.
Chanting the scripts. Okay, Aqua.
Just consistently role playing and practicing.
Yeah, role playing and practicing for sure. What else? Who else? Okay, so in that role playing, practicing, this is how simple it is. Okay. And I ask of every single one of my coaching clients, and yes, I'm calling you out if you haven't done this already, because I ask of every single one of my coaching clients, record every script. Every script. One thing I would do is I would record every script every Monday. And every Monday I would re-record all of them. It doesn't take long. Literally takes 6, 7, 8 minutes. Why would I re-record every script every Monday? Well, the reason I would do that is because this Monday is going to be better than last Monday, in theory, even if it's 1% better. And the next Monday should ideally be better than this week. But here's why. Because it's not because of my 2 role plays that I did last week, or I haven't role played in a while. It's because I would invest 4 to 6 hours a day on my skills for 10 years. I don't care where we're at. You throw me an objection, I'll handle it. That's how well skilled and confident I am. Anywhere, anytime, any day, call it. I can even be 3, 4, even 5 drinks in, which I seldomly ever do. And I don't say that from an egotistical standpoint. I say that proudly because I did put in that time. I did earn that stripe. And how did I do this? Going back to the recording, all I did is just record all of my scripts every single week, every single Monday. I re-recorded them. But what I would also do is invest the time into it. So as a just listed script, I would go through, record it. And my goal was to get that recording done within no more than 30 seconds. And the first time I recorded, it was 46 seconds. Nope, got to do it faster. Next time, 42 seconds. Next time, 37 seconds. Well, good thing is now it doesn't matter. Now just read it. And now we have the good fortune because the technology, you can just do it at 1.5, 2 times or 3 times speed. So I would listen to myself and I would just go through like trying to memorize a song. And this is one thing I'm asking of you to do. And this is everybody. Number 1, record the script. Number 2 is listen to yourself over and over again. The person that role played 2 times last week, kudos to you. Good job on role playing 2 times. When I would go through, I would role play at least 2 times a day. But in that, the recording, I would listen to myself 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 15 minutes over there, 30 minutes over here, 5 minutes over here. And then in some cases, it would be an hour, 2 or 3. And how would I do that? because the script would basically just go through very standard. Hi, this is John. Hi, John. My name is Robert. I'm a local realtor. The reason I'm calling is I just listed a home for sale right around the corner from you. It's over on Banana Street, 4-bedroom, 2-bath home. We have it listed at a great price of $500,000. I was wondering, who do you like to move into the area? I appreciate you taking the time to think about it. Tell me, how about yourself? When are you planning on moving? And I would just go through the rest of the script. Well, I would listen to myself. Then I'd go at 1.5 times speed. And at 1.5 times speed, it would go a little bit faster to, hi, I'm looking for John. Hi, John. My name is Robert. I'm a local realtor. The reason I'm calling is because I just listed a property for sale right around the corner from you. But that's the recording version. So instead of listening to myself 1 time in 40 seconds, I would listen to myself 2 times in a minute. And then I would go a little faster in the recording because I kind of got used to it, and it would go a little bit faster. Hi, John. My name is Robert. I'm a local realtor. The reason I'm calling is I just listed a property for sale right around the corner from you. It's over on Banana Street. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home. We listed it for a great price, $500,000. And I was wondering, who do you know like to move into the area? Now I'm listening it to 3 times in a minute. I would do that for 10 minutes. That's 30 times I would practice in 10 minutes. Anybody have 10 minutes? No, everybody's busy, right? Everybody's busy. So I'd listen to myself in 10 minutes, 30 times, plus the 2 role plays. But I'm not done. Remember, 4 to 6 hours a day. Goodness gracious, Robert, where am I going to do that? You guys want the trick? Here it is. I would prospect at least 4 hours, a day. And in 1 hour time, how much time are we doing this, talking in 1 hour? Okay, right now, give me an answer. Anybody? How much time are we talking versus waiting in 1 hour? 60 minutes. Come on. Shelly, I think you moved your lips.
45 minutes? I don't know.
Ooh, that's excessive. Declan?
Yeah, I was gonna say 10 minutes, 15. Yeah, Chad said 15 minutes.
Yeah, 10,
like
15 minutes. Chad, what about you? 15? Okay, got that.
Yeah, 15.
Okay. Aqua?
That we're talking or that we're
Just talking, just in conversation.
Oh, maybe 10 minutes?
Yeah, and it's pretty much about it. Let's say excessively, it's about 20 minutes. Excessively, okay? Because ultimately, here's what ends up happening. Here's a typical prospecting routine. You're going through, right? You put your headset on, you hit the dialer, it's going at it, and you're like, okay, all right, let me get my stuff together. It's ringing. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes. Boom. Joe, hey, this is Robert, a local. Damn it. Okay, hang up. All right, well, I'm just kind of, all right, well, what do I got to do today? 7 minutes, 12 minutes, 14 minutes. Boom. Okay. Yeah, hi, Stacy. Stacy, hi, this is Robert. I'm a local realtor. Oh, you are a realtor. Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're trying to get a property sold, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I'm in 22 minutes. I've had 2 non-conversations, right? But what am I doing in the meantime? I'm sitting here fumbling, look at my email, going on Instagram, going on social media, oh my gosh, look at that. Joe's actually lost some weight. That's great. Okay. Oh my gosh, what the heck? Sally, she took another listing. What is she doing? She's got to be sleeping with all of her clients. Right? And that's what we're doing. But instead, I don't want you guys doing that. What I want you guys doing is that as you're sitting there waiting for somebody to pick up, you're going to go through and you're going to practice. Have the script right in front of you. Okay. Have the script right in front of you and practice. Yeah. Hi, John. My name is Robert. I'm a local realtor. The reason I stopped by is I just listed a property for sale right around the corner from me. Just a great property over in Banana Street, blah, 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 blah. You do it again. And then again. And then again. And then again. Hello, Joe? Yeah. Hey, Joe, this is Robert. I'm a local realtor. Click. Damn it. Okay. All right. Back to the scripts. Okay. Guys, see what I'm doing? You're going to toggle. You're going to go back and forth. You're going to just keep doing that. Okay. Now, at first, it is going to be a little bit of a challenge. At first, it is going to be oh my goodness, that's going to be quite challenging. But you're eventually going to get used to it. And you're going to get used to it from a direction of, okay, well, nobody's picked up in like 2 or 3 minutes. All right, let me go ahead and listen to myself. Okay. Oh, there we go. There's a call. Okay. Yeah. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Sarah. My name is Robert. Do you see what I'm doing? And in that 1 hour, let's say that we did talk for 20 minutes. Let's say I had a great session and I spoke for 30 minutes. And in 30 minutes, in that 1 hour, I had 10 conversations. The other 30 minutes, because I'm practicing 3 times in a minute, as I just mentioned, I'm going to practice almost 100 times an hour. Now, I would prospect for 4 hours at least. So 100 plus 100 plus 100 plus 100. Okay. That's 400 times that Robert would practice during his session. And then I would be ironing, I would be making dinner, I would just be doing random stuff, folding clothes. There's another 15 there, there's another 10 there. I would add another hour or two. So I would be working on my skills again, 4 to 6 hours, minimum four. I just showed you how. Okay, and I'm not adding to your schedule. I'm just talking about the dead time. So Robert would work on anywhere between 500 to 700 times a day times 20 days in a month, while Robert's pacing at 5 to 700 times in a week. But you got your 2 role plays in, and the one role play you did was with that fake version. Yeah. I'm waiting because my dog died. Yeah, they gave that to you back in 2009, and you're still role playing that same version. We always role play the version from yesterday. Okay, so that's what I want you guys to work on. All right. Questions, comments, concerns. I'm going to share the script here. So any questions that I can address? All right, let me go ahead and open this up. Again, for those of you guys that are over on YouTube and over
I
on
put
Instagram,
questions in the comments.
go for it. All right, let me take a look. Okay, so first one here, by phone, old expireds, NODs. Let's see. Said my husband is handling that. Do you want to just ask me instead of just reading it? Just
So it's an old expired. It was a notice of default. Call the wife. She says, my husband's handling that. He is, I think he's talking to a realtor. And then contact the husband. And then the husband is like, oh, okay, I thought you were a client calling. I can't talk right now. And I've been following your program with them. I mean, they just don't seem to want to, from talking to the wife, they don't want to do anything.
yeah. So, but they are a notice of default.
They not currently. They were a notice of default.
Okay.
No, they're not anymore. They're on old expired.
Okay. Well, this could be a lack of motivation, and we don't deal with people that are motivated. So there's nothing that we
Right.
can do to re-encourage that motivation. Part of the reason for the NOD is because they found themselves in a position that they just couldn't, be in a financial stable position. And that's sometimes things that we don't want to be in. And as far as the old expired of that, they probably put their home on the market and they just didn't want to sell it. But do you know their motivation? Do you know why they were even wanting to sell in the first place?
Yeah, because they had a notice of default. They needed to get the home sold. But right, they don't seem motivated.
Yeah, but is that what they told you, or is that what you're assuming that why they had it on the market?
That's what the wife told me when I talked to her
Okay, got it. So you
like
guys,
4 months ago.
okay, got it. So you guys were in the market because I want to make sure, because agents have a natural tendency of always assuming. Well, they were selling because there was a notice of default on there. Okay, now it could be coincidental. So in that, as far as the old expired, it's really a notice of default that they didn't want to find themselves in. They didn't want to put themselves in a position to even sell their home. So we can't uplift the downtrodden. We can't force a horse to drink, even though we get them to the water. Okay. So in this case, it's more of a conditional than an objection. The only thing I would say is going back to the direction of maybe talking about why did you find yourself in that position in the first place? Okay. Now I notice you guys were there was a notice of default filed. If I may ask, what is the reason that you found yourself in this position to begin with? And in that, it could be something very simple. Well, my husband, he's in construction. He broke his ankle and he was out of work for 2 months. We had reserves and we exhausted the reserves. So, but we finally got ourselves back together. We got back on our, my husband went back to work and, we're fine now. Or, you know what, we're just in over our heads. Just everything's been tough. We're running a business and the business is just not working the way that we want to. We're not making as much money. We had to borrow money from my brother, my sister, my aunt, my uncle, just to avoid the notice of default. Okay, well, tell me, what are you doing to remedy the situation long term? Oh, you're still struggling with the business. I get it. I understand it. And I know the position that you're in. I've had other clients, I've experienced it myself, whatever, whatever. Sometimes in life, we do have to take a step back to take 2 steps forward. Is this something that you may find yourself in? Good that you found a remedy for the short term, but do you have an answer for the long term? So you might have to revisit that, is what I'm getting at. Okay. So, but if they're not motivated, they're not motivated.
Yeah, I'm just having a hard time getting a conversation. They just don't want to talk about it,
And yeah,
or at least with me.
yeah. Well, that's kind of part of what I'm getting at. Number one is they may not just simply be motivated. They might be embarrassed. They don't know you. Any one of those could be a factor. The only other alternate that I would say besides the words that you're going to use is go and visit them. Go and knock on their door. Knock on their door. Hey, I was in the area. I had an appointment right down the street and I thought about you. Okay, I figured I'd stop by. I know we haven't had a chance to really talk in depthness. Let me just ask you, and then jump right into the questions you're going to ask them. Don't say, is it okay? Do you mind? Do you have a few minutes? Because every single one of those is going to be a no. Just jump right in. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. I want to share the script. Let's see. All right. So Ivan, when's the next live? Anyone for roleplay? Yeah, make sure you guys get roleplay partners. Use this platform to get more roleplay partners. Okay. Now, as far as the next live is always going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 7:30 in the morning to 8 o'clock Pacific time. Let me share the script now. And let me get there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and role play. I'll be the agent. I know this is always the fun part, getting agents to participate. So I'll be the agent. I'll put myself from a vulnerable position. Who wants to be, just for the opening, who wants to be the agent that role plays with me?
I can help.
There we go. And okay, perfect. So in this, I'm just going to work on the opening. Okay, you're going to be the client. And here we go. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, Anne.
Yes.
Hi, Anne. My name is Robert. I'm a local realtor. I just listed a beautiful home for sale. It's right around the corner from you over on Banana Street. It has 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, and we just listed it at a great price for $1.2 million. I was curious, who do you know that'd like to move into our neighborhood?
No, I'm not interested. They take my name off the list.
Okay, I will. Bye. So in this, what I want to do is I want to focus on how we go through with the opening. Okay, because in the opening, this is the importance of number one, you got to pay attention. Okay, in this, there are certain things that I did with Anne in that opening, and it's very minuscule. You probably wouldn't even notice it. So the very first thing I said was, "Hi, Anne," and I waited for her to answer. Yeah. My name is Robert. I'm a local realtor. And the reason I did that is because when they go through in our mind, here's the psychological part is what I'm getting at. Okay. They go, "Hi, Anne. Who is this? Who's calling me? Who's the person that's bugging me this morning?" Okay. And if it's, for example, like let's use Chad as an example. Let's say, I don't know if his formal name is Chadwick. I'm just going to ask for Chad. Okay. And Chad's going to pick up and he's going to be like, "Huh? What? Who's this? Only my buddies call me Chad." So our mind works in this direction. So now I go into, my name is Robert, and I'll say the reason I'm calling, oh, there's a reason behind this. Okay. Because I just listed a beautiful home for sale right around the corner from you. If you notice, I did that in a speed up process. The reason I'm calling is I just listed a home for sale right around the corner from you. And then I slow back down. There is a pace change in that. So it's going to come across like this. So we're all on the same page. "Hi, Anne." Anne, hi. No,
who's
we're not
that?
gonna, we're not gonna replay. So let me just give the example. So I'm gonna go through, "Hi, Anne. Hi, Anne. My name is Robert. Yeah, the reason I'm calling you is I'm a local realtor. I just listed a home for sale right around the corner from you." Do you see how that went? So I really just sped up. Because in some of you, it's like, this is so long. Okay. So in that, we're going to create different patterns. We're going to slow down. We're going to speed up. We're going to pause. We always remember a pause is very, very important. The pause, what it does is it gives us the opportunity to get them to listen. Okay. So in this, as I go through in different speaking engagements, I have a natural tendency of just kind of talking at the exact same pace. And when I start talking at the exact same pace, what ends up happening, people start to tune me out and they start to go in the direction of, okay, what's going on Instagram? What's going on Facebook? What's happening on TikTok? I don't even know. What was this guy talking about? And that's what our mind goes. So when we want to create a sense of emphasis, then we always pause. So in that, when I'm sitting there talking and I'm speaking to an audience like this, and I find myself in a position where I have to what? We have to pause. And that pause is going to create a sense of awareness. Do we get that? Okay. We're going to continue to break this down. I'm going to go through piece by piece by piece. I'm going to go through, I'm going to role play with you guys. I do want participation and I appreciate you guys being here. I'm going to answer one last question if there's any questions. So is there any questions that I can address?
Do you have any interruption in the middle of that intro?
You can. Are you talking about like a pattern interrupt from me or pattern
No.
interrupt from the?
Someone interrupt you during that intro. Even we do that and they say, hang on, you're a router, then take me off the list.
Yeah,
Why
not a
how you handle
problem.
it?
And if they do, I take them off the list and I move on. I don't get stuck on it. Okay, because I don't want to sit there. A person like that, anyways, in most cases, there is almost of zero value. Okay, because I don't want to be speaking to somebody who's going to end up, being negative and being frustrated, especially right out the gate. Okay, now they might say, "Yeah, it's not for me. I'm not interested. Thanks, I appreciate that." Okay, well that's fine. My question though is, who do you know that is looking to make this move? Oh, well, I don't know of anybody. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to continue to move forward. We're going to continue to break that down though, so you do have to show up. We will be here tomorrow, 7:30. Don't forget today, 12 o'clock. Okay, goal setting. We talked about this morning. Goal setting is absolutely important. Frank Donnelly is going to do the goal setting class today at 12 o'clock. It's going to be the exact same Zoom ID. I appreciate you guys being here. And then for those of you guys that are in the Central Valley, I'm going to be speaking. Lizette's going to be speaking. We're going to be at the NAREP in Fresno tomorrow. So hopefully I'll get a chance to see you guys all there. Have a powerful day. Go take a listening or 5, and I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye. All right, guys. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you guys tune in over to Zoom as we continue to break down these scripts. All right. I'll see you soon. Thank you.